Good morning, friends. You're tuned into Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection Workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling, saving you money, and giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters, the weird noises to the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back, join the crew, because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, a few good laughs. And I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins. We're going to shift into drive this morning. I hope your day's going well so far. If you're just scooting through the drive-through, double check your order, lock that down in your cup holder. We don't want any speed-lacious going on and messing up the car, right? Absolutely. Wake up your sidekick if you've got a passenger. Give them the 16-pack of Crayola crayons and the folded-up leaf bag that is our official Car Connection Workshop laptop. And join us this morning. We're going to be talking about Dems The Brakes. Yeah, coming up in just a few minutes. Just a few moments. So we've got a couple of pieces of business to take care of. First of, our morning swiggy, brought to us this morning by Niagara Block at 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls. Building Canada since 1931 with building supplies, hardscape, landscape, building materials, all the things you need to create that beautiful backyard oasis that you've always wanted. Connect with them and get yourself on the calendar, because spring approacheth, and you want to make sure you're lined up with a contractor that can estimate the job, design the job for you, and get the job done right. So let's raise our cup this morning. If you're joining us for the very first time, we really love our first time listeners, and there's lots of housekeeping things to take care of, and the first one is, let's have our morning swiggy. Right on? On 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? And remember, no reversing in the drive-thru. 3, 2, 1. That's spot on this morning. It's even hot. How did I pull that one off? There you go. Happy Thursday, my friends. Well, lots going on in the Car Connection Workshop, and I'm sure there's tons going on in your world as well. Drive safe out there this morning. It is just a little blustery. In fact, just before I turned the microphone on, I'm thinking, what is that noise? It was the wind coming off of the south shores of Lake Erie this morning. It's a blustery morning. Thank you to Earl Louise Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing, providing us with low mileage, top quality vehicles at fair prices. Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store, bringing to us this morning our Thursday morning weather forecast here in the Motormouth Morning Drive. Thank you for joining me once again, letting me into your world, and I let you into mine. And that can be like getting stuck in a vacuum cleaner. I wouldn't know what that's like. I know what it's like to get caught up in a commercial dryer and spin for about half an hour or so. Yeah. That's a story for another time. Yeah. So if you or someone you know is looking to buy a vehicle, here's what I tell you. If you know that you can get to a place where you're going to be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity, and you can buy a vehicle there with confidence, you're not buying a fixer-upper or a crash and smash and fix it up and dash it out the door, that's not what you get at City Auto Sales and Leasing. Earl and Louise Grant are as honest as the day is long. They've been in the business for 25 years now. They're car guys. And Earl and Louise are very, very picky as to what vehicles they bring into their building and place on their lot. That's how they earned the title Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store. They have in-house leasing as well as financing. And one thing that's very unique about them is they won't let you walk out that door knowing you're going to be car broke. They're going to have a conversation with you. They want you to not only be comfortable in purchasing a vehicle there, but they want to make sure that you're going to be able to manage looking after the car, not just making a payment, but actually being able to take good care of it. So buy with confidence and nothing less than honesty and integrity. Thank you to Earl Louise Grant for being there for us to help us along with the second largest purchase that we'll ever make. 44 degrees right now, mostly cloudy. Wind is making it feel colder, about 34 degrees. Partly cloudy conditions from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. this morning, with drizzle expected at 2 p.m. Today's temperature range from 41 to 54, and it's going to feel more like, with the wind, 33 degrees to 50. On the radar for precipitation today, 0.75 of an inch if you're in our neck of the woods in the Niagara region, just off the south shores of Lake Erie. Almost an inch. Wow. I didn't think we could get any more water down here. Last week, the rains were coming down sideways, and the water rose so high that I almost had to put my my wellies on, my rubber boots, to get into my car. Yeah, it was pretty tight. It was really, really tight. Thank you to our certified financial planning professionals bringing this morning's Motor Mouth Morning Drive to you. Tony Miele, Larry Tetro, 50 years experience as fiduciaries working with IG Wealth Management. If you have questions, I guarantee you these two fellas, they will have the answers. They'll help you with an investment portfolio, debt retirement, estate planning. That's not escape planning, estate planning. If you have a checkbook and a bank account, you have an estate that needs to be planned for. If you have children 18 years or older, are you their health proxy? There's a question for you. Estate planning, powers of attorney, beneficiaries, all that, folks. If I could tell you any piece of advice that would help you is don't get caught up in the I'll DIY my estate planning. So you'll go get one of those kits. Don't do it. CRA will love you even when you're gone because they're going to take most of your estate away from you. So if you actually read the entire kit, at the very end of it, it will say you should have an attorney check this. Mortgages. They do mortgages at great rates. I haven't had a bank mortgage for about 15 years. I love dealing with their mortgage department out in Winnipeg. The ladies out there are fantastic. Health insurance. Do you have any? Life insurance, critical illness insurance? Well, here's your opportunity to sit down, have a discovery meeting at no cost. So leave your wallets, leave your purse at home, ladies. No one's going to be there to sell you anything. We call it the hour and a coffee. Just sitting and meet and greet, and you're going to do more talking, and they're going to do most of the listening to find out where you're at and where you really would like to be. Then they can build a plan that's specifically tailored just for you, your family, your household, and your circumstances. So take advantage of Tony Miele and Larry Tetro's time, but don't waste their time. Do me a favor, don't do that. They don't need particularly any more clients. They've been in the business for a long time, and they have a lot on their plates. But these two guys, they're well decorated, very humble, and they can help you. So take advantage of their generosity in giving you a full hour of their time to help you to navigate those areas in your life. If you don't have the 6 pillars to a financial plan put together, then you really don't have a superstructure under your roof in your home. This way, it eliminates a lot of those intense moments of fellowship with husband and wife. In fact, that's how we developed a segment for many years. We called it The Planners. Tony and Larry would join us on the air, one of them each month, to help you navigate through. So we're hoping we can get back to that now that we've got our podcasts up and we have well over 100, heading towards 125 podcasts, which are now migrated over to YouTube. So you can also catch all the podcasts, past, present, and future, at our YouTube channel. So the biggest drawer in our toolbox is our website. And I want to make that perfectly clear. Where have I heard that before? That was kind of creepy there for a second. Creeped me out. Everything and all things Car Connection are at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. That's the homepage of our website. You'll find everything you need there to connect with us. All our platform links are there: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. Just click on the businesses tab to find our profile there. And our videographer, Skippy, has put that website together a number of years ago now to bring community and the family-owned and operated businesses in the Stevensville area together. So kind of a communal website. I think that is so cool to pull the two together. We also have an online merchandise store. So Car Connection Motormouth merchandise is available to you. It was just in the store yesterday. Having a look around to see what we've added and what we could add for summer. There is a new snapback ball cap there available. It's in our official colors, which is the goldy yellow and black. It looks pretty stellar. And our first official in 32 years, our Car Connection morning coffee mug is there. So whatever your morning beverage is, I'm sure it would be a delight to have one of those. Limited edition, so first come, first serve. And when you purchase merchandise in our store, our online store, on our website, you join the crew in the fight against addiction. So our team is working to help those who've made the decision to deal with whatever addiction that is. They're ready for the change and to bash it and kick it out. And we are working to help them to get to a total freedom addiction campus, Canada and USA, where a new life waits for them there. They're very good at what they do, over 25 years on the campuses, and they'll take it from there. So join the battle and the fight against addiction and purchase some Car Connection Motormouth merchandise. Thank you very much for doing that, by the way. Thank you very, very much from Skippy and I. We work hard on those things. All right, let's jump right into our topic this morning, and I've entitled it Dems The Brakes. Brake service. Is that something I need to do? Maybe, maybe not. Well, if you go to our YouTube channel, and the reason I say that is last summer, Skippy could tell you if she was here, it was like the Brake Nationals. It was one vehicle after the other coming in with brake systems totally destroyed. And all of them could have saved a lot of money, not hundreds, thousands of dollars in needless repairs had they have brought the vehicle into the shop a whole lot sooner. You hear me talk about that. A $200 part in labor turns into a $5,000 repair bill. And it is true. In fact, I just had invoices sent to me. I asked, if you can find those invoices for the work that was done to the van we have in the shop right now. I said, I'd really just like to take a moment and look that over, because I'm confused by the amount of corrosion and components seized up in your braking system. And things were left loose. It's like, come on, guys out there in the service bays. Do you not have a big bucket of anti-seize or silicone grease? Or how about even making sure that things are fastened tight and torqued? Yeah, that's why we have torque wrenches and torque charts, so that we know what nuts and bolts have to be fastened to in foot-pounds or inch-pounds. It wasn't good. So I asked, could I see the last invoices for the work done on this van? And it takes us back. There is a story here, but there is also a complete lead-in to this morning's program topic. It's Dems The Brakes. We don't just do a brake job and see you at the next one. That's where the reason I talk about there are two ways to own a car: living in the unknown or living in the know. One creates stress, the other gives you freedom. And this is the lane that I've been carving out and have been carving out for over 40 plus years. And we now give you more and more ways to watch, listen, and engage. So on our YouTube channel, you don't need to be a brainiac or a brain surgeon to learn some stuff about your automobile. I really dumb it down. And yes, I am a bit of a shop idiot. It's okay. That's where you get to laugh. And I know you're not laughing at me, so it doesn't hurt my feeling. You're laughing with me. That makes a huge difference. You have to catch the next videos that just went up, because I got like a super duper shower, antifreeze shower, doing a gush and flush on the old Jeep. The 97 Jeep TJ Wrangler Rescue got its final cooling system flush and is parked in another area of the campus to come back in the later spring so I can do some floor welding. I got to put a floor pan in, part of a floor pan, and what they call a water box. So I won't bore you with that. But getting back to the videos we shot last summer, the brake jobs that we got into were just an absolute disaster. I mean, a disaster. You got to go and watch those. And if you haven't signed up for a YouTube channel yet, get it done, no matter what age group. All the videos are dumbed down for you, where you learn 5 things: what it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks, and what could you have known or done better to have saved yourself hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in needless automotive repairs. We don't need to be seeing super duper large repair bills, even on older vehicles. And I'll tell you what, a comment made by a tech that I was watching on YouTube's, and he was spot on. When he said it, I was like, amen, brother. That's exactly what people need to understand. Quality cars versus affordable. He's working on a 2024 Chevy Trax, which there's quite a class action suit going on in the U.S. side. You might want to Googly that and see what's going on. Get all the details. It's gruesome. These things are blowing out coolant gaskets, cylinder head gaskets, and it's costly. It's not covered by factory warranty. 2024, and the people that own this vehicle don't have the money to fix it. So they're making payments, and the car's going to sit in the driveway. This is what you got to, this is the car game. And it's very upsetting for me. And, you know, it's a good thing I haven't had coffee yet, because I'm a little more mellow before coffee. I get a little rammy after coffee. Yes, but it's all good. It's all good. So how would you like to be in that position? A 2-year-old vehicle, and now it's car down because the head gasket's blown, and it seems to be a very big pattern failure for these Chevy Trax. And now, you know, Chevrolet is not coming to the plate with any goodwill warranty. They don't do that. But I can tell you some other car companies that do that, provide you with, you know, what they call goodwill warranty. Your warranty has run out, but based on the circumstances being good, that you've been keeping up your vehicle maintenance according to the manufacturer's maintenance guide, and you have good service records, and you've been back to the purchasing dealer, all those things factor in at some dealerships for some makes and models, mostly European cars, to get goodwill warranty. But if you're not taking care of the car, then you're probably not going to get some GW, some goodwill. But you'll never see that goodwill warranty at any domestic car manufacturers. So he went on to say this: quality cars versus affordable. Two different things. They absolutely are two different things. Quality cars versus affordable. Well, that Chevy Trax is about $20,000. Today, in today's world, that's a cheap ride. But then again, you take a look at it, it's a cheap ride, all right. He went on to say older is better and more reliable. He said, all the years that I've been working in the shop, he said, same as me. I wouldn't touch anything that's only a couple of years old right now. The quality is not there. The reliability is not there. I watch a couple of specific YouTube channels to see what's going on in the service bays where they're actually open to the public and they're fixing cars in their service bays for other people, and seeing what the pattern failures are. It's astronomical. You know, the number of engine problems, transmission problems from the same manufacturers over and over and over and over again, and people are paying for this. They're paying for this out of pocket. And many just say, hands up there, I'll just go get something else. And they go back in the hole. That's the car game. So I say all that to say this. So I get these service orders for this vehicle I'm working on, and it was beating me up pretty good last night, but I have won the battle. One seized bolt was holding me hostage on that job. And that's what can happen. You know, if we're not rust proofing and using the right product, things aren't getting lubricated. And that's one thing I wanted to add to my conversation about rust proofing. If you missed that podcast, please pick it up and have a good listen to it. And number two, take time to read what I've put for you in the description box. I put nuggets there for you on purpose so that you will actually take the time to read the description to get more information that I may not cover during the recording of the podcast. So I'm helping you as many ways as I possibly can, but you have to reach out. You have to want to reach out and save money. So having an older automobile and getting 300, 400, or 600,000 kilometers out of it is not unreachable. It is very reachable. And so I continue. I want to stay on track with this morning. So back in October of 2025, $2,800 was spent on this particular vehicle. And part of that bill were front brakes. So they had the front brakes all apart, replaced calipers, brake pads, and front disc brake rotors. Here's what I discovered. Okay, the vehicle was worked on October 24th, 2025. So that's pretty much the end of October. So if we count November, December, January, February, March, would you agree that 5 months have passed since that $2,800 bill was paid for repairs and service and maintenance on this particular vehicle? Would you agree that's 5 months? Okay, October 24th, 25, pretty much the end of the month. Let's start with November 1st being the first full month after the repair service. November, December, January, February, and we're almost at pretty much at the wrap-up of March 2026. 5 months. 5 months. Here's what I found. First of all, I found an axle nut on the driver's side that holds the axle in place and holds it into the hub. I took it off with my fingers. Yeah, it should be torqued to around 250, some of them 325 foot-pounds. Oopsie. Next issue. And again, I'm not, Car Connection's never been around, and myself, Motormouth, around to bash shops or bash technicians. But you know what, guys? If you're a tech listening this morning, you got to do better than that. Then I find the brakes are already seized. One of the pins in the caliper, I can't even move it at all. So the calipers are still shiny black, nicely painted, and they were replaced brand new, and it's already seized up. And I can tell you why. I haven't taken that apart yet, but I will at some point today. I will do a brake service and see if I can get that pin freed off. And here's the problem. If we in today's parts world, if I order calipers and they come in a nice plastic wrapper, and there's certain companies I will buy them from, and other companies I just keep it moving and stay away. I always pull the caliper pins out and double check that whoever assembled the calipers put enough lubrication in there. I never assume, and that was part of my teaching, never assume someone has done that correctly. Check. And the reason being is, and it's just a habit, is we were taught by our military and mechanic instructor, never walk another man's path. If you want to know how to get across a minefield, you want to listen to your neighbor that thinks they know it all, has never done that before, you're probably going to blow up. But how about the fellow standing on the other side of the minefield telling you where to put your feet? That's the person I'm going to listen to any day of the week. So that's why we were taught, you get an alternator in a box. There's a tag on it that says so-and-so completed it, blah, 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 was inspected, yada, 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 sis, boom, bang. We put it on the bench. We make sure that the pulley nut is torqued to spec. Because it happened to me one time at band camp. Just kidding. I didn't do that. I was in a hurry, took the alternator out of the box. It's not a remanufactured. It's brand new. Should be okay, right? Put it on. 2 days later, customer calls. My belt's all torn off. I heard this noise going down the road, and I look under the hood. It's a mess. Okay, tow it in. Bring it in. Got him a rental car. The pulley came off. The pulley came off the freaking alternator. That was a brand new alternator right out of the box. Now, who pays for that? Guess who? Hello. Yeah, I got a little bit from the parts supplier. But that was the day that I learned and remembered my boss at the time and a military instructor saying, never walk another man's path. So since then, that I'm taking you back now to the very early 80s, anything I order before it goes on your car and leaves my hands and gets a check mark saying, yeah, it's ready to go on, I'll take it apart and check it and make sure we're good to go. Calipers especially. You know, the line workers that are putting these things together and putting them in boxes and shipping them out, they're not mechanics. And they're only doing what they're being told to do. And that is like a Q-tip blob of lubrication on caliper pins and sliders and bushings is not enough to get the job done. And I can tell you that's why 5 months the caliper pins are seized. And I haven't done the passenger side yet. I got to tear all the front end out of there. Control arms, sway bar links, tie rods, you name it. The whole lower control arm has to come out and be, all that's getting replaced. So the driver's side, we're now winning. But when I put the brakes back together and mount everything up today, I'll take those calipers apart, clean, and re-lubricate and put them back together. Here's the deal. If that vehicle had not come in right now, five months later, that brake job, gone. I'm telling you the truth. A lot of damage happens in the braking system in 5 months. Lots. So when you get a brake job done to your vehicle, it's not, well, see you in a 50,000 K or 30,000 K. Folks, that's what I'm talking about this morning. That's not good enough. If you want to save money and you want to make sure that your brakes are working 100%, you can't just do it once and forget about it. There's nothing maintenance free. So here we go. 5 months, another month of driving that vehicle, and the brake pads are going to start to burn off. And they'll burn off very, very quickly. Again, check out the videos on all the brake jobs we did last summer. Some of them had similarities, but others were just devastating. And one in particular I remember was, I think it was a 2010. Was a lady in my area here. Her husband was a mechanic. He looked after all the vehicles in the household, and he passed away. So she's on her own to fend with these things, and she heard from her other neighbor that I was looking after her Jeep, and she would let us shoot videos on it. And I got the text saying, could I bring my vehicle in and let you check it? And so that was a 2010 Dodge Ram 2500, and it was a shambles. Like, I mean, seriously, I wouldn't even, when I just looked through the wheel, and what I could see, I'm not even taking this for a test drive. Let's just get right into it and see what we need. And it was brutal. And had that vehicle gone to a shop, she would have been looking about $4,000 worth of repair work. It was not pretty. So this particular vehicle in our service bay right now is common. It's common. So if it hadn't come in at the 5-month mark, and I found what I've already found, an axle nut, front drive axle nut, I took off with my fingers. That's one. Number two, the brand new brake caliper is already seized up, and it's not moving, which means the brand new pads in there, which they're okay, and I can clean them up and put them back in, but and lubricate them. Things will turn out okay. But about another month worth of driving from today, so let's say end of April, beginning of May, that came in, the inboard brake pad would be completely burned off, and there's no warranty. Your warranty's already gone. So guess what? You're going to pay again. Yeah, it's like roll up the rim. Yeah, I don't know about you, but every time I do that, it says, you win an opportunity to pay again. Yeah, that's why I don't play that stuff. It annoys me. So them's the brakes. Brake service? Yes. Folks, at least twice a year. If you could only do twice a year, that's better than not doing anything at all. But brakes can get super expensive very, very quickly, and that's what I'm trying to tell you here. When you watch those videos on our YouTube channel, all the brake jobs I did last year, it will wake you up. I'm 100% sure of that. When you see the damage, and unfortunately, I'm not able to share the cost if it's somebody else's vehicle. That's just, we can't do that. But all I can tell you is every single one of those brake jobs I did last summer would have been in the thousands. The last one I did was on, and it was major, and that was the deciding factor. The donated 2008 Nissan Rogue, the rear brakes were destroyed. Everything. The cables, the rear emergency brake shoes, they hide inside the rear disc brake rotor, and that's what you have to know. We're going to talk about that in a separate program, how important that park brake, set brake, emergency brake, whatever you want to call it, the terminology is all, the way they work is all the same on these rear disc brake systems. They have a separate set of brakes for the emergency brake. And when you don't use it, go watch those videos. You go watch the video on the 2010 Dodge Ram 2500 and you'll get the picture. You will get the picture of what I just kind of given you a little taster on. The reason we have the emergency brake, park brake, set brake. I'm just going to call it a stinking parking brake. You need to be using that every single day. Every time you park that vehicle, you put that parking brake on. If you went out to our Car Connection studio parking lot here, you would not be able to bust me on not having the parking brake, A, working and fully serviced, B, actually freaking using it. Yeah. You can test me on anything you want, anytime, anywhere. And I'll tell you, when I show up at car shows, people are all over the vehicle that I bring to see if they can catch me not doing something that I talk about. I do everything I talk about with you, I do myself. I'm not that kind of person. Do as I say, not as I do. That's not correct. That's not correct. So you can take a look and you can sneak around and have a look and see if the parking brake is on the vehicles that are in the driveway. You will see that. If you caught me up at the grocery store going for the big GG, the grub grab, and looked through the window, you will see the parking brake is on. That is the habit you have to create. And if you don't, it is going to cost you thousands to fix it. Absolutely. And it has to be working. So anyways, check out those videos. Sign up for everything we have and come along for the ride. I will save you thousands of dollars in needless auto repairs by doing the repair work and the maintenance properly. That's why I redeveloped the Car Connection fleet maintenance system that makes it simple for you to follow along and take charge and control of your vehicle maintenance. So how long would your car last if you actually followed a proper maintenance plan? I can tell you 500,000 miles is not unachievable. On an older vehicle, absolutely it is. Come to the driveway and you'll see exactly what I mean. I don't have a vehicle that is less than 15 years old. Correct. Less than 15 years old. The 2007 FJ Cruiser, the 2008 Nissan Rogue, the 1999 Honda Civic DX hatchback is 99. What else I got out there? 1997 Jeep TJ Wrangler we just rescued from the crusher. And everything we did on that vehicle, you can watch every single video. They're going to be evergreen videos so that people 10 years from now will be able to watch that. So when I say brake service, what do you think of? Right away, you're going to think money. That's the way people think. Well, how much is that going to cost? Well, how much is it going to cost if you don't do it? That's what those videos on our YouTube channel, the Brake Nationals, I'm calling it, summer 2025 in the Car Connection Workshop. Join us for the Brake Nationals. Exactly. When I say it was one after another, it was one after another brake system disaster. And it could have cost them a lot less if we were doing brake servicing. Not just replacing some components, what we call a pad slap, not replacing rotors or checking bushings and anything to do with a caliper. Oh, I managed to get the caliper off. I'll just stuff new pads in there. That is not a brake job, folks. And if you're a DIYer, that's called a pad slap. Shame on you. That's dangerous, man. That is dangerous. Would I take your car to the corner store? Absolutely no. Times no, plus no, divided by no equals no. So if that's your DIY brake service, shame on you. Brakes and steering, most important. If you can't stop and you can't steer it, you do not cheap out on steering and brakes and tires. Those are the things that keep you safe and your occupants safe. You need to be able to handle that vehicle, and you need to know you can stop it and steer it on a dime and get change. Say yes to the brake service, and that is on our Car Connection fleet maintenance system, which I just spoke to our webmaster yesterday. That page, they're just waiting on me now. Believe that or not. Yeah, just want to lay out the system so that you can see the components and see how simple it is to get yourself one and get started, and don't fall in that category of the 2025 brake nationals. This particular vehicle that I'm picking on this morning, that's where that job is going. If I had not have been the guy that got in there and found these things, the results another month from now driving that van, it's going to need brakes again. And it means it's all coming out of your pocket. Try going back to the dude that just did them 5 months ago and tell him he's paying for it. Really? Good luck. Good luck with that. You're going to hear more excuses than Carter has pills. So, brake servicing is going to pay you back tenfold. Tenfold. So this particular van, how would you like to be buying a second brake job a month from now if I had not discovered these things? And the sad part is, the things that we're fixing right now for this particular person took the vehicle back to the shop that did all this $2,800 worth of work, complaining of noises, clunking and banging, didn't find anything wrong. We're posting new videos on this vehicle. That will be next week. Next week videos going up. We put 2 videos up on our YouTube channel every week, 2 for Tuesday, 1 every Friday, and we recorded the session on it this past Monday, so that video is going to go up next week into April. So you might want to check that out, because it's a real eye-opener what we really found, and how they missed it are 2 different things. Like I said, I'm not going to browbeat anybody or cut down their shop, but if that's the quality of work they put out, something needs to be done to change that. Quality control, or send the guys packing and try another group of fellows fixing cars. Because I still have a noise at the back of this vehicle, and I'll tell you what, it is loud. It is extremely loud, and it's certainly indicating something is not right in Denmark. And again, the person took it back saying, I'm hearing something in the back, and they did some work back there. That was the other reason I wanted to see the service orders, to see what exactly did these fellas do. And yes, they were working back there, and I'm just, in my mind's eye, I'm wondering, I've got an idea what it might be, the noise, and I mean, it's not difficult not to hear it. As soon as you go over a small bump, it's clunking and a banging back there, and it doesn't sound good. And when you press the brakes, it seems to go away, which is weird, but nevertheless, at what I've found already, the shoddy workmanship, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, who leaves a drive axle nut hand tight? I don't know. Who makes sure that there's, that there's enough lubrication on the calipers and the brake pads as you're doing the job? Not everybody does a brake job the same, let me tell you. Cheap and nasty out there. That's what happens. Cheap and nasty. Get it in, slap the stuff on, get it out, get to the next one. Upsell them if you can. Yeah, not my way of doing things. So where do we go from here? Well, a couple of decisions have to be made, and it is actually on your part, not on mine. I'm here to help you, not hurt you, and share these things with you, because you can save a lot of money and own an older vehicle and keep that thing going 10, 15, 20 years like I do. You can. You absolutely can. I've been doing it for a long time. A solid gold mechanic doesn't wait for your car to break. He helps you to stop it from breaking in the first place. That's the type of shop you want to get to. And that's the shop that I ran on the Hamilton Mountain. Was my customers, it was like a car. One of my clients nicknamed it the auto salon, because I'd always say, okay, we've got a little bit of other work that needs to be done sooner than later. Let's get you on the schedule so that we can get this done and keep your car up to speed. My job and my fella's job, I worked on the floor just like everyone else. I had my own service bay for my own customers that I'm working on for the day. And you do the job and you do it right. Check things over. Let the customer know what's going on. Our job was to not have any clients' vehicles showing up at our shop on a flatbed tow truck. And we did pretty damn good at it. We did. We worked hard at that. There's nothing we can do if somebody declines some repair work, but we always made sure that, the repair orders were filled out properly. So if they decline a repair, I want them to sign, print, and date that they've declined that repair. So that way, if it comes back on us, we can pull the work order and say, well, on this date, we did tell you about this, and this is your signature, that's your printed name, that's the date, that's the mileage, and you decline the repair. And that's usually where the wife goes, did you really do that? Moments of intense fellowship, let me tell you. I think we needed to have a special room for that in the shop, because some other customers it was uncomfortable for them. So I'm going to wrap it up there. The best advice I can give you is, if you want to save not hundreds but thousands of dollars in needless automotive repairs, keep an older vehicle running long term, 300, 400, 600,000 kilometers or 500,000 miles. It's doable. No matter what the white noise says or the sales guy, I wouldn't put any money into that old car. It's not worth much money anymore. If it's paid off, it's worth gold. And especially right now in the economy that we're trying to get through, the best vehicle in the driveway is the one that's paid for. And as long as the structural integrity of that vehicle is solid, and that's why I spent quite a bit of time talking about rust protection. It is important, and it will save you thousands of dollars in car payments and interest payments. There's no reason whatsoever you can't have a 10, 15-year-old vehicle that's completely maintained, well-maintained, and reliable. I do it all the time, and I've done it for my customers when I had my shop on the Hamilton Mountain, treated them like they were my own. Even better is getting them on the schedule all the time to keep the maintenance up and not let the maintenance slide backwards. That's when you let the maintenance slide backwards, you get the large repair bills. We don't get to use these pieces of equipment called automobiles for free. They're not maintenance free. They've never been maintenance free. And those who are spelling that crap out there need to shut up. Because it's misinformation. If we want to be correct, it's misinformation that they're feeding you. They just want to get you out of your older car and sell you a new one. And I get that. Profitability is not a dirty word if it's come by honestly. So have yourself a wonderful Thursday. Weekend's almost here. Remember, tomorrow is Fun Friday. I have a couple of funny things to talk about, tell some stories, and invite you to come and join us. If you've got questions, Saturday morning's 1 hour program is Saturday Q&A with Motormouth. I pull out the best of the questions that get asked, and if I can get through all of them, I will. If not, I'll pull them back for the following week. So email your questions in now for Saturday's Q&A with Motormouth, and I look forward to reading them and putting the answers out there that your questions may help someone somewhere else that's a little fearful of sending me an email and letting me know what's going on. You can change your name. I don't normally give out names and addresses when I'm answering questions. I never have. Just like the vehicle I'm working on in Service Bay, you don't know whose it is, where it came from, but it's a mess. And we're fixing that up. And you'll get to see the videos on those as well, the pre and post. So you get to see the final results ahead of the inspection. So inspection videos are going up next week on this particular vehicle. And then we'll shoot upcoming videos on Monday, the follow-up. So you'll get to see the before and the after and what's going on there. So till tomorrow, weekend is almost here, and we're almost out of the month of March. Did we really have a March that came in like a lion and goes out like a lamb? I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on that? My thoughts are still up in the air, trying to figure it out. In like a lion, or did it come in like a lamb? Well, we got a pretty good snowstorm at the beginning, so I'm saying it came in like a lion, but I'm not really sold on the out like a lamb thing. So again, you have questions, car questions, fire them over to me. You can reach me at niall@ccbusnet.com or motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. And all that information is in the description box for our YouTube videos as well as our podcast. So till tomorrow, keep it under 100. Put that coffee on. Happy, healthy motoring. I think we'll come to your house. Peace, patience, and kindness always. Happy Thursday, my friends. Bye for now.